Okay, everybody, Stephen Key here with inventRightTV, and I'm going to talk about something that's on everyone's mind, including myself. Hey, what about the tariffs? How is that impacting us inventors and entrepreneurs? So please watch this video because I'm going to show you what you need to do today. Okay, everyone. I'm hearing this from a lot of different people and even companies today. What do we do about the tariffs? It's gotten to a point where it's given companies a pause. All right, but I want to back up for just a minute. I've been coming up with ideas now since my early 20s. So we're talking 40 years. So I've seen a lot of things happen over the course of 40 years that might give you pause. Okay. I've seen it where we've had a recession. I've seen it to where retailers are getting smaller. I've seen industries the big companies swallow the little guys. I've seen that too. I've seen it where companies don't want to talk to you because you don't have a patent. I've seen just about all of it. And I can tell you, yes, you have to navigate the waters that are in front of you. And is it ever going to be like this perfect environment? No. Is it ever just perfect out there? No. But there's some things that you can do to think about so you can participate in this world of coming up with ideas and licensing ideas or even, venturing your ideas. But what I'm talking about today is really how do you prepare? How do you up your game? How do you play in this environment when there's a lot of uncertainty? There it is, a lot of uncertainty. Well, you have a couple options. You can just sit on the sidelines and not do anything. That's not an option for me. And if you do sit on the sidelines waiting for things to change, when they do change, trust me, you're late to the party. So don't do that. Or you can start to think a little bit differently. Okay, what do I mean by thinking differently? How can you get these companies to look at you a little bit differently, to look at you in such a way that, hey, I want to work with you. And maybe this isn't the exact perfect time, but when it does change, I'm going to consider you. Or, hey, maybe we have a little pause here. We're going to be a little cautious, but I still want to work with you because I like what you just showed me. Okay, you guys, just because there's some uncertainty and a little bit of pause doesn't mean people aren't going to work and thinking about new products and how to beat the competition. That's never going to stop. All right, so this is what I would do, and this is what I'm going to recommend that you do. Number one, don't sit on the sidelines. That's ridiculous. Number two, up your game. There it is. Up it. All right. I'm going to start with the type of ideas that you're coming up with. I do believe when things get a little tough, the economy gets a little tough, even without tariffs, I'll tell you this. When people are spending less on things that they want, they always are going to spend money on things they need. Okay, so if you're going to come up with ideas, number one, come up with ideas that satisfies that desire of buying something I truly need, that truly solves a problem. I need that. Not that I want that. No, I need that. That's number one. Come up with those type of ideas. Okay, you've got a great product idea and you're not quite sure what to do. Or maybe you've got inventory in your garage because you were selling your product on Amazon and you don't want to continue doing it, but you want someone to help you license your idea to a company to bring it to market for you. We have a new program that's called Gateway, where we do all the work for you. We'll find the right companies and the right people to make sure your product is pitched correctly to get the licensing deal. This new program is called Gateway. If you're interested, please check it out. Number two, I would say always keep in mind cost. Regardless if there's tariffs, cost is so important, and I don't think we talk a lot about it. When a company says, I'm thinking about it, or maybe I'm going to pass, or maybe it's just not right for us, you know what they're telling me? They don't have enough information to make a decision. And it's better just to say, I'm going to pass. And the number one reason why they usually say this is cost. They think, I like it, but it's probably going to cost too much. I really don't know. And I'm too busy to do the work. Yes, they're too busy. So if you can think about that in terms of cost, if you design your products with cost in mind, that using less material, using material that's more affordable, come out with less bells and whistles, making things designed in such a way that it's either the same price or lower cost than existing ideas on the market, I think it's a winning formula, regardless if there's tariffs, regardless if there's a recession. That is really smart. That's smart design, because when I reach out to them, I can always tell them this is going to be the same cost at retail or even less than similar ideas. You guys, if you can state that, if you've done your homework, they're always going to respond to you. I can guarantee it. I don't care what environment. So number one was we're talking about creating products that people need, not want. We're talking about understanding cost a little bit and leverage that big benefit and consider that when you're designing your product. Okay, I think it's really critical, even more today. The third thing would be, how can you show them why your product is better than the rest? Seems pretty obvious, right? But a lot of times we don't do that. We put together a sell sheet that shows the benefit, maybe the features of what your product does. We might put together a Sizzle video, a 1-minute sexy video showing how your product works. It's like a proof of concept, why people are going to love it. But why don't we take it one step further? Why don't we create that second sell sheet? There it is. Let's go one step further. Let's up the game. Let's put together the second page that shows your product, shows all the competing products, and lists all the things why yours is better. If it's lower cost, make sure you have that on there too. Why is that important? You would just assume that when you send your idea to a company for licensing, that, or even if you're going to show it to a retailer, I don't care, that they would know all these similar products, they would know all their benefits. So when yours comes in, they could kind of say, well, yours is different and has these type of benefits compared to the competition. You guys, that's wishful thinking. I think you need to help these people out a little bit and do the work yourself and come up with that second sell sheet that shows how your product stacks up against the competition. What we're talking about is making it easier for companies to love your product, right? We talked about creating products that people, they need. We talked about understanding cost to get it lower. And now we're talking about showing the clear benefits of how your product stacks up against the competition. Number 3, I do believe that that's going to help those companies make better decisions and put your product on the top of their stack of things to do. That's what I think. I think it's really, really important to do that. Also, number 4, make sure they know that you filed good intellectual property. All right. Why do I say that? Well, it shows that you've got some skin in the game. It shows that you have gone a little step further, that you really understand your product and you've done some things to help them say yes. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to defend it in federal court. I'm not saying that. But when I am saying that most companies love that you have gone to this type of work and you've done a good job. So what does that mean? File good intellectual property. File a good provisional patent application that has workarounds, variations, maybe some manufacturing, maybe even consider filing a design patent. Why not? But do it in such a way that they know that you've covered it, right? And that you've done some work. So that's number 4. You guys, you're going to love that. And the 5th thing here is that when you do put this stuff together and you do have that Sizzle video, make sure that you can show that product, show the benefit of it, and show that you've got a working prototype. All right. When you add all those things together, you really have a stronger package today than maybe a couple years ago when just a sell sheet was enough. It's not enough anymore. Competition's got tougher. You got to up your game. You got to be better at this. I'm also going to tell you, if you're not upping your game today, regardless if there's tariffs, regardless if there's a recession, you're going to have a harder time once you get to these companies. And it's not easy to get to them today, but once you get to them, and if you haven't done this type of work, you're probably not going to be in, you're not going to be in the game. You're not going to be in competition. You're not going to be in their world because other people are doing it. I've seen it all the time. We're teaching it all the time. Up your game. So you're going against all this competition that's taken it further than you have. All right. Yeah. And then the last thing I'm going to say is when you do reach out to these companies, I don't know if that's number 6 or not, but if you do reach out to these companies in such a way, make sure you really know their product line. Make sure you're showing them something that is a good fit. Make sure you're doing it in such a way that they know that you're a player. That's right, that you're kind of serious about this, that you have done some work and you're not just taking a sketch on a napkin and throwing up against the wall to see if it sticks. All right. So am I worried about the tariffs? No, I'm not worried about it because everything comes and goes. They're going to work it out because at the end of the day, yes, it's too much business not to work it out. So yes, there's a little bit of pause. Okay, I've seen it over decades. I've seen these pauses for decades. I remember when COVID was a pause. I remember, oh God, it just goes on forever. So does it worry me? No, it doesn't worry me. Does it mean I'm going to sit out and wait for things to change? Are you crazy? I'm not waiting for things to change. I want to be on the top of the pile. So when they get ready, I'm there. I'm ready. I don't want to wait till things change. All right, Stephen Key, thank you for watching this video. I know I did a big rant. I made it easy for James because there's no editing. There you go, James. Please subscribe down below. Give us a thumbs up. And I will see you next time on InventRightTV. This is Stephen Key.